We live in a world where it's very, very hard to see Hashem. I'll just quote you from this book, Praying with Joy 5, that was over to publish not so long ago. One paragraph. In times gone by, people felt vulnerable in the face of the mysterious and dangerous forces of nature. They desperately needed rainfall, protection from wild beasts, and favorable weather, and they were forced to depend on Hashem, their only hope for survival. A Jew needed wine for Kiddush spent years nurturing his vineyard, all the time davening that the vines would flourish and be spared from pests and storms. After he harvested the grapes, he prayed his wine would mature and not spoil. Only after years of effort and tefillah did he bless the wine, experiencing profound gratitude to Hashem. In today's high-tech age, we are cushioned from the forces of nature. Every necessity, every convenience, and every luxury is available at a click. A loaf of challah, a glass of Kiddush wine, or a Shabbos set, all it takes is a swipe of a card. No heartfelt beseeching is required, no profound gratitude experience. Under such circumstances, our sense of dependence on the Almighty has dwindled. This is the world we live in today. This is the reality. I'd like to share with you an experience I had tonight. Baruch Hashem, I did not sleep the entire night. One of my family members had to be in the emergency room. And I'm sure it's like that probably in most countries. In Eretz Yisrael, the emergency room is called the Cheder Miyun. Cheder Miyun. Miyun, it's a tolden Milchel Shabbos. It means selection. It means sorting, actually. So they sort out, if you're about to die, then the emergency room is probably a good place to be, because they'll deal with you right away. But if your problem is not to the point where you could be Milchel Shabbos for it, which was the case in our situation, even though this family member was in excruciating pain, but that didn't seem to warrant us to be higher than the 29th person in the emergency room. But in any event, spent the whole night in the emergency room, and it was a little bit frustrating, especially since we hadn't brought ample food, and a container of fruit salad that I had when I went to wash on bread. So when I came back, it was on the floor, and that was most of my food gone. But I thought about it, and as unpleasant as it seemed to me that this was really a wonderful opportunity to, number one, to thank Hashem when things look bad, but number two, the scenario that I just described, which is the reality in today's world, we get so used to feeling comfortable with our surroundings because everything is taken care of. But we're suddenly thrown into an environment where very few things are taken care of. You don't have food. You don't have sleep. The computers were actually down. And you don't even know when you're going to be seen. You have no idea what's going on. You have absolutely no control over the situation at all. Right? On top of that, it's frustrating with no sleep and no food and no set time when you're going to be seen. And people they're talking to in a little bit of a curt manner because they're very busy, rightfully so. So it's really a wonderful opportunity for a person to show his complete bitachon only in Hashem. And in a moment of frustration, I was able to refocus and think, Hashem put me here. Like the Chavetz Chaim says, Hamakam atanim sham kadeshu. Hashem wanted you on this Monday night to be in this emergency room, with only a small emergency, maybe not even an emergency, and to be at the whims of these people, because it's really not the whims of these people, of the doctors. It's the whims of it's the Ratzon Hashem, and Hashem wants to see how will you do under these situations. As the Zohar says, Rechima Shlema, Hashem wants you to love Him even when all comforts are removed. Food, sleep, service, basic grasp of what's going on, like no idea. Hashem wants to say, I still love you, Hashem. And not only do I love you, but realize everything is in your hands. Everything is completely under control. This is not a Efker situation. Anyway, after coming to that recognition, it wasn't too long before the doctor came over to us and decided to take a personal interest in our situation. And that was comforting. It was comforting because I understood that the point of being in this room was to bring up, to raise my level of consciousness and raise my level of perception of the Borei Olam. Like Rav Moshe Sternbach said many, many times during the war in Gaza, yeah, and all the missiles that have been thrown at Eretz Israel over the past years. He said, Hashem does miracles for us. He's trying to raise our consciousness and our perception of the Borei Olam. When you get there, you don't need the missiles anymore. You don't need the war. You don't need the emergency room. Hashem could take it out because the task has been mission accomplished. Mission accomplished. So this was really a very precious opportunity, and I could have lost it because of bad windows, hunger, tiredness, frustration, annoyance, all of these forces which cause us to act improperly and use, as the Vilna Gaon says, the Yetzaharas, to connect the Yetzaharas of Ra and Mirma. Ra being not to talk properly, Mirma to be deceptive, but especially Ra. It's a big tendency under such situations to, when you're being spoken to in a curt manner, to reply back. And actually, we were zoichet to have very, very nice doctors who were very, very connected to our situation and considerate and compassionate. We really have to thank the Borei Olam for that. So the next time you find yourself in the emergency room, I'm not wishing it anybody, and everyone should be healthy and have parnasa and have shalom bayis and chinuch banim. But next time you find a person finds himself in an emergency or in a similar such state, and you feel very, very pushed like this to get frustrated, annoyed, whatever, however you want to describe it. So think for a second. I'm not here by chance. Hashem put me here. The Makamat Hashem Kadishu. This exact place, that's exactly where Hashem wants me to be at this moment. Not in a base medrash and not in a bed. Yeah. Those are the two places where I would like to be. If I'm not in a bed, I at least should be in a base medrash. In fact, I had my computer with me and I started learning and preparing a shiur. And it was very nice. I felt, look, how often do I have a chance at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to be sitting and learning? Like, that's usually when the time when I'm sleeping. But now, I had a rare opportunity to be learning at 1, 2 in the morning. And those are very precious hours. So always look for the good in every situation. Always remember that Hashem is in complete control. There's not even one iota of lack of control here. It's perfectly maneuvered to be exactly what you need at that exact moment. And try not to get frustrated. It's not easy. Believe me, it's not easy. If it wasn't for the fact that I have to give these shiurim, I'm sure I would get frustrated. But I have to give so many shiurim on thanking Hashem when things look bad that I just feel stupid to get frustrated. I feel like I'm such a hypocrite. So I got to the point where I just have to accept it. And I'll tell you the truth is that when you accept it, it's such a good feeling. You feel so close to the Borei Olam. You feel like one with him. And the situation which normally might cause a person to be frustrated, annoyed, have bad midas, and be just a grouchy, yeah. Instead, to be polite, to be kind, to be introspective. All of those attributes are so much more positive to use under such trying circumstances. So the next time something like this happens, turn straight to the Borei Olam and dig deep and try to find the Nakuda Teva, the point of goodness in your situation. And Hashem should give us great siyata d'shmaya to be successful in this endeavor, because it's very, very challenging. Amen. Ken Yoetzon.